Hi, everybody, and hi, my beautiful, precious cosmic sister, Corinne Mooney, all the way from Arizona, enjoying rain a few days ago, and
Oh,
myself,
yes.
Anne. Yeah. So, welcome everybody to Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with Corinne and Anne. And today we have Wednesday, October 15th. Geez, we are progressing this year also, soon at the end. And this Wednesday, we invite you to join us for a heart expanding conversation on go with the flow and allow things to grow. Together, we will explore the sacred art of surrender, how aligning with the natural rhythm of life opens us to deeper trust, intuitive guidance, and soul led expansion. What does it mean to truly flow with life? How can we soften resistance and allow growth to unfold in divine timing? What ancient wisdom is reawakening within us now?
Yeah.
Let's gather in sacred space, tune into the frequency of flow, and remember the brilliance of becoming. Flow with us, grow with us. And we go live on Angel Place, no, sorry, youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. We will have a replay on facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians and on YouTube, of course, as well. And again, our topic for today is go with the flow and allow things to grow. That's a brilliance from Corinne Mooney. She made this topic. It's absolutely wonderful. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/at Angel Placed on Earth/streams and angelplacedonEarth.com/upcoming-past. You can find our series, which currently are two different series, the Fourth Agreements and the Celestial Prophecy. You find them at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And of course, if you want to connect with us, find even there you can find upcoming shows and past episodes, read articles that we are creating each and every week. They are brilliant, also, I have to say. Connect with Corrine, find her phone number and website and everything, and find me as well at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. So, our last show was last Wednesday, and we talked about the Celestial Prophecy, Insight 11, the importance of synchronicity. Meaningful coincidences guide us. So we are already at Insight 11, and that's smashing. And next week we are going to do the final insight, Insight 12. But we'll talk about that at the end a little bit more. And
Mhm.
then we end the whole thing with a nice summary of all 12 insights. So I think I've talked enough. So let's dive into today's show.
Oh, yes. And this is a topic that is amazing because having had a little bit of an experience this week, which I always seem to do, I seem to live the topic we're going to be talking about. But there is a brilliant rhythm in all of creation, a divine flowing that ebbs in and out of every being. It brings change, renewal, and beauty. And even the least habitable places on earth have a flow. And things will grow physically
Yeah.
in that environment because they are in synchronicity with the energy around them. And this allows all of us to survive. And as we've been talking about with the Celestine prophecies, being energetic human beings, we are our spirit having a human experience. We're not the body. We're the we live in the body. It's like a spacesuit that we wear. But this deep rhythm within our being, it connects us to creation. And it actually begins the moment of conception as two cells ebb and flow, and they became united, and then eventually allowing creation to be completed.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I love how you expressed it as a sacred rhythm because it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, no, I rephrase that. Energy never stands still in
Never.
reality. It always moves, right? So it can move like water, like breath, like the silent unfolding of petals in the morning light. We are in continuous movement all the time. And that's a good thing to think about when we feel like, oh my goodness, nothing is happening right now. It haven't been happening anything for me for the last few months, for instance. And that's a common experience for many people, actually. But just know that, like the pendulum swings, you can call that as ebb and flow, as you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing never stands still. There's always things changing. That's fantastic.
Yes, I mean even energy, and also with the Celestine prophecy we were talking about, as we create energy and freely give it, then that person is able to create energy and give it back to us, and there is that ebb and flow that the uh, allows something to come that we're not even aware of. And our ancestors lived, their very survival depended on going with the flow. They were guided
Yeah.
by subtle changes in the weather, even by catastrophes, earth changes, earthquakes, volcanoes. They definitely had to go with the flow in order to survive. So, understanding that it is a beautiful rhythm that we are able to be part of. It doesn't it disallows us from feeling that we have to fight it, or that we
Yeah.
have to find ourselves in a stagnant place. And we can. Humans have a way of getting into a stagnant situation. But when you learn self love, you're never in a stagnant situation.
No, and in reality, even if it feel like things are standing still, they are not. Because look at nature, look at the seasons. Everything has cycles and seasons and ebb and flow and continues. And we do live usually from a routine in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many people do, but we need to manage that routine differently during different seasons because we can't do the same thing. For
Exactly.
instance, for instance, in Sweden, you can't really act as you are or manage summertime as you manage winter, can you?
And that's really a drastic change. Yes. Uh, yes. And that is what allows us to tap into our interconnection with ourselves and also with the nature around us, and to again feel how it feels when we're doing something. And uh, I was pushing things this week. I have something coming up at the end of the month, and so I was forcing, instead of going with the flow. Oh, I've got to get this done. I got to get this done, and everything else. And I was completely a week ahead of myself. And I called you up this morning and I said, I haven't done the notes for today. And you go, yes, you have, because I was looking at next week's, and I'm going, oh, I didn't go with the flow.
It happens to all of us, and maybe that's comforting for people watching this to actually hear,
Yes,
because we are all human beings. I mean,
yes,
souls, you call it a spacesuit, and I call it a vehicle that we
yes,
are using while we're here, right? So
yes.
it's not, it's something that we just use. It's like a car, you know,
Yep,
driving around in that and navigating in life. And we are no exception, to be honest. But on my end, I had a great day, but I've been there too, sometimes when I try to push things and force things to go instead of when we take that step back, as I love to say that, doesn't mean that I go backwards. It means I'm stopping and I try to see things from a bigger perspective,
yes,
helicopter's perspective, bird perspective, whatever one wants to know,
mhm,
because that makes us have a bigger picture. It's easier to take one step at a time, because the thing is, going with the flow also means that if I feel that walking to the left, well, maybe that wasn't that good as I could feel in the beginning or thought, right? I can
yes,
always correct myself. I can always correct my direction.
exactly. And we we have this beautiful ability to feel energy within us, around us, and we have that ability to tap into the awareness that there is more out there. And our interconnection may be subtle, but it's powerful. And that's what it does. It guides us with our synchronicities, with our intuition, with an inner knowing. And it allows us to let the higher frequencies of our energy follow that flow. And then we have a greater awareness of where we're going to go and where we're going to grow.
Exactly. And I have a personal story, and this is maybe 30 years ago, something of that nature. And I went to a psychic medium, and she told me a few things. I don't remember everything, but she said to me, "It's like you are going with the flow right now, so don't hold on to the edges." And I didn't get it. I said, "What do you mean? What does that mean?" It means that we release fear, and there's no need to run or rush, but we are aware of things, and this is how we can better understand where we are heading, instead of trying to tune into what's going to be tomorrow for me, what's going to be next week, because that depends on our actions today, this moment. So going with the flow means also be here now.
Yes, in the now. I'm sure that everybody out there has seen this scenario, but I'll be waiting on a side street, and the flow of traffic is going, of course, this way, and you'll have that one person that insists that they're going to go through 3 lanes of traffic and go the opposite direction, and they sit there and they'll start and they'll stop and they'll start and they'll stop, and how simple it is. Maybe I want to get on the other side of the street also, but I'll go into the traffic, go with the flow, find a place where I can turn and make a U turn, and then I go back. And every time I've ever done that, the person is still sitting there frustrated, trying to go against the flow, not realizing that if you allow this, other opportunities open up. And it's not a defeat. You haven't proved anything by being stubbornly trying to go against the traffic. But when you do, what does it cause in that person that is sitting there getting frustrated and angry and possibly going to cause an accident. And
yeah,
I have found that when we are following the flow and we think that it's going to take us this direction, maybe there's something in the way that allows it to go this way. And you go, I would have missed that if I had
yeah,
been forcing myself to go the other direction. And
exactly.
yeah,
You know, flow is the flow of energy, flow of life. It's not always gentle
no,
because life kind of comes to us, right? Sometimes it carries us into unexpected currents, into deep waters we did not anticipate, right? So we did not expect that. So now I find myself here, but we still have our response and our choices, right? So we are
yes,
not victims. But even then, there is wisdom in the movement. The soul knows the way, the body knows the way, the energy knows the way, and our task is not to resist, but to listen, to feel, and to allow.
yes,
And again, I'm going to, I'm thinking they gave me something now
good.
last year when I didn't listen. And I ended up in the hospital, and I know it because, but we are human beings while we're here. It's very human to do, and it's you could say that's a nasty thing to break a leg, but it's not the end of the world. We can heal.
Yes,
And sometimes, things happen. It is what it is, right?
it is what it is. And it probably, I know in a way that it gave you a different perspective of things, and it allowed you to take pause. Maybe
Yeah.
your whole body needed to say, I need to just rest for a while. And we are very valuable. And going with the flow does not mean blindly following the herd. The herd mentality is not going with the flow. It's just, I'm in it, I can't get out of it, and I'm just going to keep going. Going in the flow, what we're speaking of, is connecting to that divine energy. And we are so valuable and so loved because we are part of the whole. And without our contribution, our brilliance to be able to help advance humanity would not be able to happen if we did not allow the synchronicities to guide us into uh, different situations that are going to be maybe for our growth, maybe for our enjoyment, maybe like my house burning down. I didn't plan it to burn down, but I went with the flow. I didn't sit out there screaming and hollering, oh, woe is me and everything else. I go, okay, how can I rebuild this so I can have a teaching center here? It's like, okay, this is what you've given me, and I'll do the best I can with what I have, and
Yeah.
that's different than just blindly following somebody because they said, hey, there's a big party down there and you'll have fun and everything else. So when you come
But
from self, yeah,
yeah, going with the flow means that I got a vision of, a stream of fishes going one way, big stream,
yeah,
a whole bunch of them, maybe hundreds of them. And one is going the opposite direction. And sometimes it can feel like that. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that I chose that path because it's right for me. And I know where I have to go, what I need to do. I
yes,
feel it, I know it. But maybe all of those other ones are saying, hey, you should have gone our direction. But maybe, because 100, I can talk about it as people now, do something in their way, doesn't mean that the 101 is the right thing for them.
that's right.
So going with the flow is a very unique and personal path.
and going with your flow. That's
Yes.
the difference. And
Yes.
that reminds me again, and I think I spoke of it before, but Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And he, he was a seagull, and all seagulls do is fly, go pick up the food, eat it, go lay eggs, and do this every day, every day. But Jonathan kept seeing other birds flying higher. And his flow was to expand what he was doing. So he practiced and practiced and practiced. And he would get up there and he wasn't used to it and it'd fall and crash and everybody'd laugh. But sometimes our flow, our direction that's the one that we need to be in contact with. And
Mm.
when we have our self-love and when we know that we are being following that we are following our intuition, it's a whole difference. You're not one of the pack. You are an
Mhm.
individual that is saying this is where I need to be. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's okay in that sense to go against the flow.
It is okay because you are authentic. You are true to yourself.
Exactly.
We're not talking about being mean to other people or having an attitude. That's not about it, because that is when you don't really get it, right?
That's right.
But it means that you make in with unconditional love for both others and yourself, you take your own route, you take your own way
Yes.
doing things. Because another aspect is also when we want to do things. And maybe I have my way, you have your way, a person have their way. We're not going to do it the same way. We have our own unique way of doing everything,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes. And we're not talking about things like joining everybody and painting a house and they're painting it white and you decide to paint it yellow. We're not we're not talking about that. We're talking about becoming internal and
yeah,
understanding where your soul is kind of guiding you to go. It is all individual. It's not about, going up against the masses. It's about being able to, if we need to, say no and go away. Because if that situation is not for our highest good, we need to leave that situation. So in the maturity of understanding this, it's not ego. We're not driven by ego. We're driven by spirit. And spirit always allows us to make our choices, like riding a bicycle. you know,
exactly.
and
For
uh,
remembering.
yes, and however, when you're in the flow, it's it's this rhythmic. You feel like you're on a breeze, and it just so effortlessly. And I realized the last couple of days that I have been going against the flow, my own. I have been running into all kinds of obstacles, and my timing has been off, and it just sets you out of sync.
Yes, it does. And being in the flow also means that my experience is that we can experience more flow certain times in our lives, and it feels less certain periods, right?
Yes,
It's still always moving, but it's maybe moving slow. But when we are in a fast pace of flow, we are very often presented with a lot of possibilities and opportunities. And that also can create a lot of dilemma for people because, okay, now I have some choices to make. What
Yep.
if I make the wrong choice?
Yes. And then when someone comes to me and they say, "Well, what if I make the wrong choice?" I lovingly say, "But what if you make the right choice?" That if
Yeah,
will work both ways, you know. And when you go see a doctor or something and say, "Well, only 2% of the world can recover from this," well, fine, I'll be the 2%. And I don't have to go with the 89%. I'm gonna
no,
hang in there with that 2%. And this is where we have the power to make those choices. And when we are coming from integrity, when we are coming from living our authentic self, I think it is much more easily a road that we can navigate because we are connecting with those synchronicities. We're connecting with those opportunities. We're seeing things from a different perspective. And that allows us to, as you said, when you see the big picture, you can see that if you keep going down this road, you're going to run into a dead end. Or if you go this way, it's going to wind around a little, but you're going to get where you're going. Where you can't see that when you're right down in it.
exactly. But there's in my world, there's no such a thing as failure. No such a thing.
No,
Because even if I make a choice, I go down a path and I see that this wasn't really for me, what I felt
correct.
in the beginning it would be. It's not a failure. I can always correct it, right?
And
And
that's beauty.
I've seen something during my walk on that path. I learned things, and
Yes,
that is the important thing. So, like you could say in earthly terms, trial and error, and that's
that's right.
perfect.
Uh, I will tell you that before I started uh, living connected to energy, my attitude was fake it till you make it. you know, and in that philosophy, I would find myself. I had been asked to speak in front of a group, and I'm driving to this thing, and I'm going, when did I say yes to this? And what am I? But I was I was confident enough to know that I was going to be able to present myself in the best way that I could, and that's just a side little story there. But
Yeah, but here's the thing. No matter we do see and sense things and have a knowing and then all the clairs and everything, clear sentence, all of those good things. But we can never, for sure, see. Sometimes there are glimpses, but we can't really predict the future because it's created from this point, right?
and it's also being created, co-created by a
Yes,
billion other people, and
yes,
what they're seeing and feeling and everything else. Uh, we don't have our own little bubble that we live in, and we coexist with other people's and other people's version of things, and that's what gives us the opportunity to see things a little differently, and we have to make adjustments. So it's a beautiful dance that we do as we wander, and I'm not going to say aimlessly because we do have purpose, but being able to see the world with
yes,
the eyes of a child,
yes,
and go, whoa, that's cool, that's going to be interesting, instead of taking it personally. Well, I should have done this, and I loved when you said that we make no mistakes. All we have done is found out 99 ways that aren't going to work. That's all we've done. We haven't failed.
yes,
We've just found that those aren't going to work. So maybe, the next one will, the next one will. and having the tenacity
And
to
stubbornness. I'm
this,
stubborn.
yes, to stay with it and realize that this feeling within us is guiding us, and it's not just bullheadedness. It's we have a sense that we need to make a change or we need to do this, and having the courage to do it.
Yes. And you know, following the flow, going with the flow also means that we are growing. You know,
Must
allowing things to grow means honoring the cycles of becoming. We are becoming all the time, each and every minute, second. It means recognizing that healing takes time, that clarity unfolds in layers, that transformation is rarely linear. It means tending to the soil of your life with love and care, even when the seeds seem dormant. It means trusting that what you plant with intention will bloom in its own divine timing.
That's right. Wow, that was perfectly said, and that is such a beautiful way to look at this. That yes, we are going with the flow, but we have to adjust to what is around us, and we have to allow it. I love that
Yes,
word, allow. We have
yes,
to allow the process to fulfill itself,
yeah.
and and not try to force it and then screw up and think that you didn't get the things done that you were supposed to do.
No, because we have chosen to come here, so we are not uh, having any benefits from trying to bypass the human experience, right? We
No,
have
not at all.
experiences, so we can deepen our experiences. And it's also about remembering that you are both the gardener and the garden,
That's right.
both the river and the stone. You are the one who chooses to show up with love again and again, even when the path is unclear.
Yes.
Having that faith in yourself and your path and your
Yes.
choices.
Um, when I take my crew on their little vacay and we go into a deep meditation, and I carry them on the energy to into the oneness, and in the oneness that is the spark of life. And one of the things that is often revealed, and which I say to them, you are the creator, you are the creation. We are all of these things. We're the courage, we're the light. And we sometimes forget that we are this valuable instrument to allow humanity to progress into its fullest extension of grandeur.
Exactly. And another benefit of going with the flow and having that courage, being bold, doing it, living in that way the best you can, right? It doesn't mean that we don't step outside of our path. Sometimes we do, and I do, right? And we can laugh about it and we can acknowledge it and we can see it. And we said, okay, today I was 110% human.
Yes, yes, yes,
Uh, but it means that we can um, we grow in a way that is beyond words, to be honest. We get very, very strong, and we have the belief that, okay, I'm here. I don't actually know what's going to be tomorrow or next week for sure. Maybe I have an idea and I have a sense, but I can't be really sure, right? But I'm going to go with it
yeah,
because I'm not fearful, are not afraid.
And that is an important part of it. Um, Shedding those things that have kept us from stepping into our pure divinity, the fear, the guilt, the loss, the fear of abandonment, all of these things that we have mounted upon ourselves. Uh, when you start living in the now and start living in your heart and allowing the process to just unfold, it gives you it gives you not a sense of control, but a sense of belonging, a
Yeah.
sense that it's okay, that as you're exploring these things, new things will be there for you to explore. And I just get goosebumps when I talk about the experience uh, of just being human.
It is actually a very unique and fantastic experience. Um, can be challenging sometimes. It can feel like we are walking deep in mud up to our knees, right?
Yep, yep,
Uh, but at the same time, we are here to experience, and that's my personal belief. We don't need really to teach our soul anything, but we need to remember. And those experiences we are going through are helping us to remember. So we close the gap between the soul, what the soul knows, and this experience here. And that is a beautiful thing.
yes.
It does take courage, but it's not as hard as one could think. Just
And it,
go with
yeah,
the flow.
go with the flow. And it is about the experience. Let's say that you lived in this magnificent library and you had access to everything that was written and you could read about it and read about it and read about it. But your soul never had a chance to actually go and taste a grape or see a sunset. You only had it in the words that other people were talking about. And I think that the soul also comes to experience all of these things that it's heard about and experience them in a tactile way. And instead of, well, you came here to, look, stop being that way and stop being, and that's part of it. But you're having all these different experiences, and you look up there and go, oh, I read that book. I want to go and I want to have this experience. And and uh, And
Yeah,
when you come here, I think each soul goes, oh, well, let's put a little more of that in it. Let's put a little more of this in it and everything else. And I do admit every now and then I say I would like to see the contract because I don't remember signing on for this particular thing, but I am carried through it.
yeah. And there's another aspect when you become um, deeper with your own spirituality. There is not many things that can feel like threats to you because you realize you experience something else. You have a connection to your own soul. You could say higher self or whatever one wants to call it, right?
Yes,
But you have that connection, and you, even though we don't see very clear all the time, we see things and we sense things, and that helps a lot. And life actually becomes easier, much easier,
it does.
much
It
easier. But like you, next time if I choose to come back here,
does.
I it because it's my choice and that's my belief too. I don't go for anything else. Then I'm going to read the contract and the fine text. Okay.
uh, yes, yes. I think we say that all the time, but it is true. We are given the ability to remember what our connection was. And when we start remembering it and get past the density of trying to live in the heaviness of the fourth uh, dimension, allowing our flow to reconnect with that divinity that is all around us, that energy that is around us, then our antennas plug into that. And it does make it a whole lot easier, folks.
It does. Because we see things, we have changed our perception and perspective of things. If this is only for a temporary period of time, our existence here, which it is, while we are here, it's a very long time because we measure things with timeline. But on the other side, it's nothing. Maybe it's a vacation trip to Bahamas or
That's right.
from Sweden to Greece, or just for a week or two, right?
Yep.
So what we really do when we are growing and going with the flow, we are connecting deeper to our soul, which means that all of these conventions of this world are being questioned by us, and we release all of that stuff we don't need anymore. That's not for our highest good, which means that it's much easier to progress forward, right?
Yep. Yep. I think that uh, there is a certain oh, what's happening is I'm getting visions of being on a roller coaster and taking this roller coaster and the turns and the ups and the downs and everything else, and how exciting it is to be on the roller coaster. And then from the tops of the roller coaster, you can see all the other different things. And I don't know why that vision came to me, but it's like because everything is in motion. And sometimes it feels like we're going really, really fast, and sometimes it feels like we're going really, really slow. But there again, it's that ebb and flow. I mean, the ocean slowly comes in, maybe goes out fast. Other days it comes in fast and it goes out slow. It's the balance and it's the synchronicity. And I think if we allow for that to happen, instead of constantly going, well, I'm going to do it my way and that's the only way. Uh, we definitely have an opportunity to really experience things that we would have never experienced.
Exactly. And that is a big part, of walking the path of going with the flow and allowing things to grow. Because, it's going with the flow is to dance with the unknown as well and not being fearful about it. To
Yeah,
allow things to grow is to believe in the magic of emergence. So if I'm not rushing and having to do everything my way, if it's not going to be my way, I'm going to step into resistance, which is going to keep me for a much longer period of time. As long as I am resistant, it's going to keep me in a loop of nothingness, not progressing.
that's right. And being static is not fun while everything is moving around you. So, my dear soul sister, are you going to hit me with the hot seat again today?
Oh, I see that you're longing for the questions.
Well, longing is not exactly what I would be saying, but maybe I will go with the flow and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. So, And these questions are for all of you watching and listening to this as well to reflect
Yes.
upon, because it's a good thing to go within and see where you're coming from regarding all the questions. 5 questions. Where in my life am I resisting flow, and what might shift if I surrendered?
Okay. Uh, I have been understanding and been getting messages that I am ready to allow for a deeper connection. Um, and in order to do so, I'm going to have to shift some of the things that I'm doing and let go of some of the things that aren't working. And it's like it's a lot of work. Yeah, but look at what I'm going for. And if I surrender and go with the flow, I know that it's going to move easily. It's just that, oh, the water's a little cold right now. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe after I get this done. And the procrastination and I found that in my life I got A+ in procrastination, and it has improved drastically since I have been going with the flow. But every now and then, I'll go. So I know that if I just take a deep breath and trust that I am being guided the way I need to be guided, it's going to it's going to be beautiful, and I will be able to grow from this experience.
Yes. And my experience of, um, resisting the flow, and by that I mean listening to myself and synchronicities and guidance and everything, all the signs around me. When I don't do that, I'm going to make a smashing thing for myself in one way or another. That's what I learned. So,
Literally smashing.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes I may actually say, okay, I hear, just let me taste that for a while and then make a choice from it, right?
Yep.
Buy a little bit of time. But it's usually, I think that, buying time means that I'm not running forward without considering my options. Therefore, I'm making a conscious choice, and that's very different from just being unconscious and just running forward, like I have been doing also
Yes.
sometimes.
Ah,
Haven't turned out very good.
that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, second question. What does growth feel like in my body, my heart, and my spirit? And I mean you. What does it feel like for you in your body, your heart, and your spirit?
There again, there is a peace that comes over me. There is a serenity. Um, it actually slows things down. It allows me to absorb what is going on almost as in slow motion, so I can enjoy every morsel of what is happening. Every light that I see in that sunset, every vein on that tree, every drop of rain that has gifted us with coming back to the earth. And it's like being able to sing with the symphony, dance with the stars, and to be that feeling of bliss. And I like it.
Yeah, and for me also, it brings joy, it brings peace of mind. Um, it feels good in every aspect of my life, actually, to be honest. In different dimensions as well. It just feels good, you
Yes.
know. It's a wonderful feeling. It is.
Yeah.
So, next question. How do you know when you are aligned with divine timing?
Well, let's give an a glimpse of what it is to be out of divine timing. And when you're rushing and you're pushing, and then you are finding that you are sliding through that street light just as it turns yellow, and then before you get to the other side, it turns red, and you go, okay, I thought I was you know, in the right timing. And that's just a physical thing. But when you are out of divine timing, uh, everything seems to be out of sync. And occasionally things do go out of sync. A lot of times when I'm getting downloads, I won't be physically in this world, and I'll be working in another dimension, and things will just kind of miss each other a little bit. And when I am in divine timing, everything works together perfectly.
Yeah.
But I also realize that when I step out of divine timing, that is just saying that I need to readjust where I am and to
Yeah.
get back in sync. It doesn't mean that I've failed. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It just means, okay, you're either ahead or behind. So just, I hate to say this, but get back in the flow.
Exactly, because it's connected to the flow. And for me, is I know then when I'm aligned with divine timing, when the puzzle pieces falls into place for me without too much struggle or effort. I don't really need to do many things. I need to maybe set things in motion. I may need to have intentions, take some actions, because nothing is ever going to happen without us taking no kind of action at all. So we need to act and do certain things, right? But we don't need to struggle. That's when I know that I'm aligned with the divine timing. And when I'm not, I don't listen, first of all, I'm not in the flow, and I may be stubborn in a not so constructive way for myself, because
Yes,
stubbornness can be really good if we channel it where we should do it, right?
yes, yes. I love that. Stubbornness can be good if we channel it where we should. I love that. That was divine timing there. Those words just kind of
Yes.
fell together. Yes.
Remember those words, please. Maybe we can make a topic
Yes.
out of that.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh,
So, next question. What old story or belief is ready to be released so something new can bloom?
that's interesting. Um, I always, for all of my life, played the story that I was of no value, and it impounded into me. It was beat in, and so I always had that feeling that I wasn't good enough. And I have worked on it for a lot of years, and I think that's one that when I finally released that and stopped comparing myself to what others thought I should be, um, I became me. And that me was so much better than anything that they could have even imagined. And I think that's what happens is once we allow the old patterns and the old stories that are keeping us prisoner, and become our true self, it's like the story of, well, I'll even talk biblically. Uh, when Jesus went back to his village, everybody remembered him as the son of the carpenter, and he's no big deal. So they never saw who his potential was or who he was, and I think that happens a lot to everyone. And when we can ourselves release that stigma on ourselves, then we can dig deep and we can find out who we truly are. And
Exactly, because we are not what others are saying or telling us we are.
that's right.
That's an opinion. That's their perception. Maybe someone is going to be close, but no one else is ever going to have the whole story
That's right. That's
about
right.
you, right? So what's your story? And I know that for me also, when I stopped obeying to expectations of what others were expecting of me, being kind, and I mean, I'm from Sweden, and we are considered very modern and democratic and equal for women and men country and everything basically, right? But even there, there are unwritten expectations and rules. If you're a woman, you can't really say that because you're supposed to be sweet and nice and do what's expected of you. Be the glue in a relationship or whatever it is, right? Be the
Yep.
one that fixes things. When I stopped doing that and I said, I love myself enough to release that part. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't matter. The king could come and say to me whatever he or demand me. I wouldn't do it anyway. Does that make sense?
Very much so. Very much so. And that comes from self-love. It
Yes.
doesn't it doesn't come from ego. It comes
No.
from realizing that you are unique and valuable, and are here to contribute your bit of brilliance. And
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we don't experience things. We get questions, can you do that for me? Or I want to see you, I want to do that thing with you. But we always have choices, and we
Yes, we
can
do.
feel peace in that we are fully entitled to pick and choose and make our own choices about everything.
Yep.
And we don't have to do anything we don't want to. Never, right?
That's right.
So, last question.
Whoa.
What
Okay.
what does it mean to trust the unseen, and how can you deepen that trust today? Or anyone can deepen that
Okay.
trust today.
I think that just being human, we're constantly faced with um, trusting something that we don't know the end result of. We may have an idea of where it's supposed to go, but as you said, we can't see all of the things, and it we can't really see what's there. But trusting the unseen, to me, it means that I am allowing myself to really use my energy to connect to the divine that is beyond me, to that
Yeah,
energy that is here, that is really guiding everything, and to just allow it. But the trust comes because I have seen and felt the results of the trust. I know that it is something that I can put my trust into. And deepening it, I think, as you move along the self-love, the self-awareness, um, being kind with your words, not making assumptions. All these things that we have been talking about over this last period of time are tools that allow us to grow deeper and deeper into trusting our authentic self.
Exactly. And I agree with you. And for me, yeah, I base my trust on the unseen out of my own experience because I can't just give away my trust just like that. I want to know where I'm giving it to, right? And that is integrity for me. Um, because to be really honest, everything is energy, and there are many different energies out there,
Yes,
right?
very much.
So trust is earned. Um, and I think that's how it should be. We shouldn't just give things away because we are supposed to or expected to, because that's also an expectation sometimes. You just need to trust me. Why?
Yes.
Did you show anything to me that shows me? And it's not about fear. It's about, you know, I have the right to observe and see, and I'm not judging either. And it's also it goes for spirit, the unseen, anything on the other side as it does in this world, right?
Yes. And I love it when you say, it really has to be earned. And I think the biggest thing is trusting ourselves to be able to discern
Yeah,
whether that is true for us. And
good.
it always goes back to us. It's amazing. We are beautiful us's. Yes, we are.
We are, indeed we are. So I think that it's exciting, the journey of going with the flow. I can add something here. To go with the flow is to dance with the unknown. Maybe I said this before. I just love it, so I say it once again. To allow things to grow is to believe in the magic of emergence. Together, they form a sacred practice of surrender and creation. They invite you to live from your center, to trust your inner compass, and to honor the unfolding of your unique soul journey. So let this be your reminder. You don't need to force what is already flowing toward you. You do not need to rush what is already growing within you. You are held, you are guided, you are becoming.
Yes. Well said. Well said. And as we encourage everybody to look deep within themselves, and maybe we've said something that will spark an adventure in your life. Maybe there is something that you go, wow, I can take hold of that and find out what that means for me. Because that's what it's about, is finding your individual journey, and allowing some of our ups and downs to maybe be a little bit of a guidance. And then you don't have to go through everything. You can go through just your stuff.
Exactly. So we don't need to struggle. Usually we think we need to going against, the stream, or even choosing your own path that way doesn't need to be a struggle, because
Correct.
it's not. It's about how you feel about it. Are you confident about choosing your own path, your own unique way, right?
Hmm.
What do you say? Are we wrapping it up?
Uh, I think we've gone with the flow. Now we have to let everything grow because sometimes if you keep digging up the ground while the plants are trying to grow, you don't get any harvest. So we'll let them grow, uh, and it was great. Thank you. I enjoyed this today.
I enjoyed this today too. And it's always exciting to talk about these things because they are so deep. And sometimes it may appear like we are talking about the same thing or round in circles, but that is because everything is connected.
It is
And there's no way around than going within and growing yourself and acknowledging certain things like what does flow mean? How do I know I'm in the flow? Things of that nature, right?
correct.
So find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/@angelplaceonearth/streams and angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past dashes and slashes again. Find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. And we are going to stream um, from the Celestial Prophecy by James Redfield, the 12th insight, the last final insight next week. And after that, 2 weeks after that, we're going to stream a summary of all insights. So that's going to be intriguing too. And if you missed any episodes, you can just go to angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians or to YouTube, youtube.com/@angelplaceonearth/streams. And you find everything over there. And like I said, next week, October 22nd, we are talking about the Celestial Prophecy, Insight 12, the final insight, a vision of a new world based on love and cooperation. These insights encourage individuals to recognize their spiritual journey and the interconnectedness of all life. So that is going to be a really great show too.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us on the Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with Corinne and Anne as we close today's sacred circle. May the rhythm of flow continue to guide you, and may the seeds of growth planted in this space bloom gently in your heart. We are so grateful for your presence, your energy, and your willingness to journey with us into deeper awareness. Keep listening to your inner guidance. Keep trusting the timing of your soul. And above all, keep flowing toward your highest truth. Until next time, stay radiant, stay connected, and remember, you are a part of something vast, beautiful, and divinely orchestrated. Explore more about us at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And with infinite love, peace, and joy from your cosmic sisters, Anne and Corinne, we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yes, and we really do. Uh, in a way that most people have never experienced before. Because when we say we see you, we are speaking soul to soul. We
Yes,
see you.
we see you.
Bye.
Bye.